again. Let me close my door. Let me close my door. Alright. Oh! That's funky, ain't it? Yes. Secretary Funk. Actually, let's turn that off. Let's turn it off. I mean, really, I should just, if I could, if I was 100% positive I could get away with it, I would just let that rock out. Let me see something real quick. Okay. I got my rag in case I start sweating profusely. Secretary of Funk back on deck. Here we go. Back on deck. This is what I was playing. Groove Holmes. Osiah Joy. Osiah being the name of his son. This is on Flying Dutchman. Richard Groove Holmes. This is like really the only LP that I really I have plenty, but this is the only one that I really listen to because of that song. Horace Silver, he did Horace Silver's Song for My Father on, and that's what you just heard on the intro. That's just a funky cut, the way he's chopping that up on the organ. I love that song. I actually, I've had this LP for a long time. Another LP that I had from the beginning, but one of the YouTube vinyl folks, Late Bloomer, posted it on Father's Day, posted that song in memory of his father. And then I was like, yeah, man, because I'm just getting back. Like, yeah, I like that song. That was like, this is my favorite LP by him. So I went to go put it on. Oh, excuse me. I went to go put it on and my copy just wasn't enjoyable. So I just got this brand new copy and it is super clean. No noise on it whatsoever. And I love it. You know how most organ players, play up top and then play the bass line most times down low if they don't have a bassist. Well, what's interesting about this LP, this recording, this was a live recording, and this is all of this text is just full of tidbits about this man. It kind of gives you an insight of who he is, and to be honest, reading this and reading his direct quotes, it seems as though if you knew him back in the day, or if you were to meet him, he would be a punk ass jive turkey, arrogant, pompous MFer. Like really, he is really arrogant, throwing all kinds of other Hammond B3 or just jazz organists under the bus without naming them. Really comes off as he's saying he's the best out there. He comes with an angle that nobody else comes with. I don't know. Maybe it is true. I mean, I always found Jack McDuff boring as hell. Until I heard Moon rapping and a couple of other LPs I like of Jack McDuff. But that's about it. I mean, there's less than a handful. Who else? Another organist. Jimmy Smith. I mean, like, if you look at a lot of these jazz organists, like the popular ones, they really only have one or two LPs that are legendary, like what Jimmy Smith is Root Down. He also has another one that I've been trying to get a hold of. I just don't remember the name of it right now. I don't have it, but you'll see it in the edit. But yeah. Oh, so what's interesting about this LP? I'm gonna read a paragraph out of this. Let's see. So it says, on this album, for example, you'll hear Groove's bass line sounding from time to time as if they were being played by a Fender bass. And and then it skips to a question. What that kind of sound comes out of, Groove told me, is a unit built for me by Eric von Valter, V-A-L-T-E-R, Valter, a fellow in Detroit who builds electronic units for a lot of rock groups. What you hear on this album is a thing he constructed for me. It's an organic Nova bass unit. He's done it for other people, but mine is made up a little bit different. I gave him my own ideas for it, and he carried them out. The difference is that my unit makes the bass lines clearer. Von Valter, incidentally, is building, as of this writing, a synthesizer for Holmes. It works off the keys, Groove explains, and that means more flexibility. So this cat was, and it's true, because this album is a trio. Drums, organ, and oh shit. Where is it? Drums, organ, and rhythm guitar. But you hear bass lines all through it. As most organists, I mean, that's not a shocker. A lot of bass lines in trios, when there's an organ, the guy is playing it. But you can always hear it. You can hear it. It sounds like an organ, and it's very much true. On this album, it definitely sounds like a Fender bass, and it is very clean. So maybe him being arrogant is something to it. But what I found interesting is I couldn't find anything about this Eric von Valter guy, or Valter guy. I couldn't find anything about him. This cat was building custom electronic instruments for cats, rock groups, and jazz musicians back in the day. Why isn't that something we know more about? Or maybe you guys do. Maybe I'm green. But I always found that interesting. Anyway, what am I going to do in this video? I'm going to just show you a lot of stuff that a couple of kicks that I've been on lately. I missed uploading this weekend because every time I got back here to upload, I kind of got lost and hours went by, and I realized, I just been listening to nothing but music. I couldn't really stop and break and really get my shit together so I could make a video. So here I am. Today I broke out. I went searching for. I've been on a real psychedelic rock and roll, hard rock, I guess you would call it. I don't really know what really defines those genres, but Quicksilver Messenger Service. I was pulling all of these out. I don't have a lot, but I have a good amount. I have one more. Hold on. Let's see. I have all my recent listens right here on the floor. I don't know if it's in the screenshot. Anyway, I have one more Quicksilver around here somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I really like this band. These are the ones that I have. I consider that psychedelic stuff. I know it's not straight psychedelic, but I have an issue with straight up psych music because the vocals I cannot stand. They all are in this same format. They all are in this same hollow, angel soft voice, and I don't like it. But there are some bands that are a little bit rougher around the edges, and I really could get down with anything that they're saying. And one of those bands, and I've been listening to them all day, Vanilla Fudge. I've been on a huge Vanilla Fudge kick. This is not my favorite. I think this is probably maybe my second or third favorite album by them, Vanilla Fudge. This album is their first album, which you could kind of hear if you could compare it to their other albums. In my opinion, this is not my area of expertise. This is just me liking the music. It just seems like you could hear their identity in this album, but it shows up more on their later albums. The way that they structure and approach their songs. Those long, drawn out, I mean, they're giving you 2, sometimes 3 psyched out moments in single songs. People who know better than me know what I'm talking about. This album almost turned me off when I first heard it because they did the People Get Ready. Yeah, Curtis Mayfield People Get Ready song, the soul song. And it was just, to me, they missed it. And I was like, this is corny. But then that side too, when they started doing the Illusions of My Childhood, I'm looking at the title tracks out, and then did the Diana Ross Supremes song that was written by Howland Dozier Howland. You Keep Me Hanging On, which I think they're most famous for it, if I'm not mistaken. Nailed it, and then did a cover of the Beatles' Eleanor Rigby on this. That's this right here. This is my favorite Vanilla Fudge album right here. From front to back. But the sweet spot for me is on side 2 on the song Faceless People. Vanilla Fudge, unlike this album, the organ is up front in making the show and being seen on this album. The organ on this album, which the lead singer plays the organ, he's kind of in the background. But man, when it gets to Faceless People, it's still in the background, but if you could isolate it, he is losing his mind on the organ on the song Faceless People here. You really, really have to isolate the organ. And once you do, I'm sure you could appreciate it. Listen to this. This is probably maybe my least favorite. This is not as in the same format as their other ones. Vanilla Fudge Rock and Roll. You see those football hands? Vanilla Fudge Rock and Roll, but still great. I love all of them. This is one that I haven't gotten to yet. And the beat goes on. I haven't gotten to that one. I don't remember this one. Listened to it plenty of times, but I can't wait till I finish this video and I'm editing so I can listen to that. And then I have They're Near the Beginning. I really like this band. I went out of my way to get their stuff. Only thing about these pressed on Acro is they are some trash vinyl. All of these are in pristine condition, but they still have so much surface noise. I clean them. I just cannot get the noise out of those LPs. I don't know what kind of wax they pressed them on, but it's trash. Let's see. A couple of weeks ago, went to the record store. Was about to leave empty-handed, and you know, record store owners don't let you leave empty-handed if they can help it. So I got this. Show you this label. Live at the Laboratorium, International Jazz Federation Records, the Blue Light Pilot. I think this is what, Swiss Jazz, right? Hold on. Sorry. Yeah, that's what the label. Polish Jazz. What got me to snag this LP based off of his recommendation? I looked at the track lineup, and the very first track is Straight No Chaser by Thelonious Monk. Sounds nothing like it. They did a good job though. It's rocking out. It's really, really. Oh shit! Almost dropped that. Really, really space agey. Space age sounding. Just a unique sound. The fact that it's Thelonious Monk's Straight No Chaser. I can't hear any elements of Thelonious Monk's song in there, but they say it's Straight No Chaser, so it's Straight No Chaser. Listen to this. So I'm gonna just show you guys what I've been listening to. Also, things that I bought maybe that I haven't listened to yet. The Louis Hayes Group, Variety is the Spice. We all know this. I had to break this one out. I was listening to the descendants of Mike and Phoebe, Spike Lee's folks. Anybody who follows me on Facebook. So I was up to like 4 o'clock in the morning spinning records. What did I do with it, man? I'm so unorganized. I don't know what I did with it. But yeah, I listened to that, and I like their version of John Coltrane. That song, John Coltrane. I love that. And so, for some reason, every time I listen to that one, it leads me to listen to this. Because that song Sunflower off of this is kind of in that same vein of the Descendants, John Coltrane song. I just like to hear those songs together. I like to listen to these LPs together. Both of those LPs, I really like. You know, that Descendants of Mike and Phoebe. Oh, that first song. Who is it? Spike Lee's aunt, mom, or whatever. Oh, that is some wretched singing. Oh my God, it's terrible. But every song, moving on from that first song, it's lovely. Oh, Bort picked up this. This has been on my Discogs want list for a long time. I went in the music store and I saw a copy of this. And I was like, yeah, okay, finally, I'm getting a copy of this. This is on old vinyl. This LP is, I believe, from 1959 or 1960. I guess I could, Milt Raskin. I mean, yeah. Right? And so, this old kind of vinyl, man, just really sounded bad. So when I was listening to it, I was like, man, you know, let me just go ahead and buy one that's a good copy offline. So I saw a seller that was actually selling two of them, and they were dirt cheap. They were like $3. So I said, I just picked up both copies. Here's one copy. This is interesting because, you know, anybody who's familiar with like Lex Baxter, knows that he kind of gets a little tribal, a little bit, yeah, I don't want to go there. I don't want to say spiritual, Lex Baxter, but he gets tribal, real tribal in percussion, congas, all of that stuff. This LP has moments where, if this is the line, spiritual jazz line, it gets right up to it. It stops. But that's enough for me to throw this in the collection for under $5, right? So that's that. Oh, here's my other Quicksilver. I have this one as well. I haven't listened or heard all of the Quicksilver stuff. Oh, listen to this. This is another group. Blues rock group. I love blues rock, especially hard hitting blues rock. I think everything the Groundhogs does is just amazing. I think it's really well executed, in my opinion. And I like the way that they give everybody their moments during the recording, during the songs. So, you know, that's that. Pick this up at the music store. This is a private press. This is the After Six combo, Daybreak, on Kidmat Records. Does anybody know this LP? I couldn't find much about it. And I listened to this LP 3 times. Let me take it out of the plastic just in case the glare is crazy. I listened to this LP 3 times. Why? Because I was trying to determine whether it was worth keeping. And because I can't really come to a decision, I'm going to keep it for now. But like the Vanilla Fudge LP, actually, where they did something just probably outside the genre which they normally play music in, this opens up with a version of Proud Mary. And it is the biggest piece of trash cover I've ever heard. It is terrible. It is so terrible. And then what made me get this is, let me read you the lineup. Let me read you the name of the song. You got Proud Mary. Then you get into the second song. The second song is called Meditation. And I'm like, okay. Then We Only Just Begun. Rainbow Feeling, Walter's theme. Then side 2 is, you have, I saw something called the Trinity Suite. I'm like, ooh, okay. And then MacArthur Park, they did that. And Daybreak, and then What the World Needs Now. And I'm like, okay, is this some corny lounge shit? You know, and it's not. I started reading the LP, and this is before I listened to it. This is why I picked it up. It says, the musician creates the perfect harmony with nature, steady beating and crashing of the waves set the rhythm of the world. Honeysuckle adds tone to the timbre of the forest, the intense fury of the night. Volcanoes establishes a climax only to be surpassed by the finale of the sunrise daybreak. And I'm like, whoa, that's a mouthful. It's kind of cosmic. You know, let's give this a chance. This album has very good moments on it. The guy, it's a trio: Kenneth Lamont, Dennis Ballong, and Rick Line. The organ is really the star of the show, but for some reason, they got Keith Lamont's trumpet all through this shit, front and center, and to me, it ruins it. If they would have just, I don't know what they could have done with him, but it would have been good. Also, this LP has the weakest drum solo I have ever heard in my entire life. The only thing that saves his ass is that he picks up the tempo and it right before everybody else comes back in. It was a good transition. That's all I could give him. But anyway, it's a nice little private press. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's kind of cool. It also goes on to say this album was recorded on the week of August 27th, 1973 in a small concealed room without air conditioning during the hottest week of the decade. So, that's that. Where we at? Around 22 minutes. Shout out to Chris Cole, John Coltrane. Recommended this LP to me. Chance Evans. And this is a monster. This is a monster LP, Chris. I know you and I have gone back and forth about it in instant message, trying to really come up with words to describe it. I still kind of at a loss for words, especially with the open track. This is more like a jam session. I don't know if this was a well-planned session where these guys sat down and played the songs that they wrote. It seems more like a real loose, free, those are some of Chris's words, a loose, free, a la carte, play it in the moment type of LP. It seems like at a lot of times on this LP, but it's all done perfectly. It's all done perfectly. This is on the This Experience label. That's the same label that Noel McGee. What is it? Noel McGee and the Space Spies, whatever is on. I know I have it. I showed it to Chris. Where are we? Let me see. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. I could always. Yeah, let me find it, and I'll edit, so we're not going too long. Maybe this is I listened to this too, by the way. I'm just now getting to the point where I could appreciate this LP, especially side 2 is a banger. I know this is mentioned all the time in the Fraternal Order of the Astral Travelers group. I know people listen to this. It seems like every month somebody is going ahead and going back and highlighting this LP. This is a very, very dope LP. Like I said, I never appreciated it really until now. Side 2 just gets me, and I'm not a big person for singing, but matter of fact, let me sit this aside. I'm gonna listen to this again. That's another thing. Oh, I pulled these out. Someone I can't remember his name. Sorry about that, man. I would give you a shout out. I'm gonna send these to you. You know who you are. But I will say, this one right here is trash. This one right here is a very good copy. But this right here, this one is a no-go. I will send it to you anyway, just so you could have. No, I'm sorry, I have it backwards. This one is actually the Howard University Jazz Ensemble. There's a Howard alum that said, if I'm purging these, go ahead and bless him with it, and I will. No, this one is trash, bro. I'll still send it to you. I don't know if you want it for a picture cover or whatever, since this is your alma mater. But I'm gonna let you know right now that this LP right now is not listenable or not enjoyable. Where else we got? I don't want to talk about this one. I got a lot of VCLT that I'm gonna be sending out. Oh, talk about being blessed by the vinyl guys. So we were talking about Asimov. We had a little short ECM thread. Some people like ECM, some don't. I said that there's probably like 7 or 8 that I like on ECM, and not including, these are not included in those 8. These are Asimov. This is 85 and this is Touchstone. And I said, oh man, I really, really want these LPs. And I think Chris Cole said that he was gonna send me Touchstone, but I found it. I found it at my my LRS local record store. I found it at my LRS for on the cheap. Both of these at the same place. I mean, go figure. I've been looking for these for forever. Every time I go in the record store, I try to get these, and I never get them. We're coming up on 30 minutes, right? Yeah. But anyway, now I don't like them. I don't know what that's about. I'm not going to talk about that. Not going to talk about that. Oh, I'll finish the video with this. Chris Cole called me out. Kind of. On my favorite jazz albums that I was spinning, and he was like, yeah, everybody knows. Anybody that knows you knows she liked Ted Curson. And you're right, Ted Curson is my absolute favorite trumpet player. And the reason why I didn't mention any of his LPs is because I was going to save them for a special video. But I got this in the mail the other day. I just bought this. Very clean. This is Ted Curson. I heard Mingus. This is on Interplay, the same as his album, The Trio. This is I Heard Mingus. I didn't have this one. There's still a handful that I don't have, but the reason why I didn't mention Curson is because I was gonna show all my Curson, my Ted Curson. Let me see. What you got? Oh man. Still going. Okay. This is my Ted Curson. I'll just show him. I'm not going to talk about him. But we got Snake Johnson. I'm trying to tell y'all, love this man. I have the trio this is Arista Freedom copy or version of Tears for Dolphy. This is an alternative cover, right? Then we have Ode to Booker Irving. This is on the EMI Columbia label. This is probably my second favorite Ted Curson. My first favorite being the Trio. Then we have on Why Not, we have Blue Piccolo, Ted Curson Blue Piccolo on Why Not label. Everybody knows the Atlantic one, the New Thing, the Blue Thing, Ted Curson. One of his early albums, if not his, I don't think it's his first, but one of his early albums, maybe his debut album on Atlantic. Again, you start to hear that sound out of him that I like, that just tenacious, violent approach sometimes to it. And this is the one. This is oh, wait a minute, I thought the other one was on shit. This is on this is Interplay. This is just a different label. This is the one, the Trio. Everybody knows about this. Intense, well executed. Pop Wine on Future Records. This was probably one of the hardest to get hold of. Where we at? We at 30 minutes. That means I might have to split this up into two. Let me make sure we're still recording. Yeah. Jazz meeting. Ted Curson jazz meeting on Polydor. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's it, I think. Oh, no. Ted Curson. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but on Trans World, this is that. I think people consider this a private press. One of his rarer ones. That and Plenty of Horn on Old Town, which just sold for probably a record amount. It's probably never sold for that low before. Who was it? Either Funk You Sounds or Carolina Soul had it. Just closed like yesterday for like $400. I hope that creates a trend of where that is kind of, that's going to be the new price. Indian Navigation, Chad Curson and company on Indian Navigation. Flip Top. Ted Curson, Flip Top. Another Arista Freedom one. And that's all I had. That's my Curson. Anybody has any ones that I didn't show that you have that you would like to sell, I would be more than happy to buy it from you, because that is somebody that I would like to probably have everything that he has on vinyl, because I enjoy him that much. That's all I have, man. Nothing too deep. Just that's like half the pile. I got this right here. This is more that I'm still currently listening to. Okay. Peace, people.